Good morning, fifth graders. Today we have Math Lesson 91, Simplifying Improper Fractions. Please open your book up to page 648. All right, so we have already learned two ways to simplify fractions. We convert our improper fractions into whole numbers or into mixed numbers. Improper fraction is when the number at the top is larger than the number on the bottom. The numerator is larger than the denominator. All right, listening to the following story. After the party, some pizza was left over. There was 3/4 of a pizza in one box and 3/4 of a pizza in another box. Altogether, how much pizza was in the two boxes? So I add my 3/4 plus my 3/4. So I only need to add my 3 plus my 3. My denominator stays the same, correct? That becomes 6. So 6/4 is an improper fraction. I know that I need to do division in order to make that into a mixed number. So 4 goes into 6 one whole time. Then I have a remainder of 2. That 2 becomes my numerator. The 4 is my denominator. All right, well, I look at 2/4 and I know that I need to reduce. So I know that 2 is half of 4. But as you look, here is your 1 whole and your 2/4. And here we have 1 whole and a half. So our improper fraction of 6/4 becomes 1 1/2. Example 1, we write 8/6 as a mixed number in lowest terms. To convert 8/6 into a mixed number, we know we need to divide 8 by 6. So when we do the division, we get 1 2/6. Now we look at that and we know that 2 goes into 2 and 2 goes into 6. So we see that 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 6 3 times. And we take our fraction of 1 2/6 and make it 1 1/3. And that's as low as we can go. Example 2, the dictionary is 1 7/8 inch thick, and the thesaurus is 1 3/8 inch thick. If the two books are side by side, how thick are they to get all together? Well, that's an addition problem. This one's a little bit different because we have two whole numbers. So we know that when we add 7 plus 3, we get 10. We add, the 8 stays the same. We add our 1 plus 1, we have 2. Now, we have 2 10/8. We cannot leave it like that. That is an improper fraction. So we need to divide the 10 by 8. We get 1 whole, and we have 2/8, correct? So we take and we need to reduce this 2/8. They both can be divided by 2. And so 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 8 4 times. So we will have 1 1/4 to add to our original 2. Oh, here we go. Plus 2 equals, oh, that's going off the screen, 3 1/4. Correct? All right, so when you have the mixed number, you need to make sure that you're adding the whole numbers with your fraction. All right, here we are at lesson practice. We have 6/4. We are going to divide the 6 by 4. I feel like we did that recently. Okay, so 4 goes into 6 once. 4 times 1 is 4. We subtract, we have 2. 2 becomes our numerator. 4 becomes our denominator. So we have 1 2/4. We are not done. Now many of us know that 2 is half of 4, so this will become 1 1/2. The way we get there is by dividing both of these by 2, correct? All right, our next problem, we'll only do a few of the lesson plan, our lesson practice, okay? Our next problem, I'm going to do the 2 8/6. I chose this one because it has a whole number and the improper fraction. So 6 goes into 8 once. 6 times 1 is 6. Subtract. We have 2 is our numerator. 6 is our denominator. Now, I know that I can reduce this by dividing both of these by 2. And I get 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I have 1 1/3 plus, I need to take my 1 1/3, plus I can't forget my whole number of 2 over here, plus 2 gives me 3 1/3. All right. Our next problem, we are going to divide 3 10/4. So we know that we will divide the 10 by 4, right? All right, 4 goes into 10. 2 times, 4 times 2 is 8. We subtract, we get 2/4. So we have 2 2/4. We need to reduce this 2/4. Most of us do recognize that that is half, right? 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice, because 2 is half of 4. So we have our 2 1/2, plus we can't forget about our 3 over here. Do not forget about your 3 when you are doing your work. And this becomes 5 1/2, correct? All right, we will scoot on down to the next section. And it says, perform each indicated operation, simplify your answer. You may use manipulatives if you need to, okay? So, our next problem, we see that is an addition problem of, I'm skipping down to J, okay? J is an addition problem of 1 5/6 plus 1 5/6. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is add my 2 whole numbers. I get 2. Next thing I'm going to do is add my 2 numerators. I get 10. And then my denominator stays the same. How many parts is broken into stays the same. So I have the improper fraction of 10/6. I divide 10 by 6. Now I know that some of you can do this in your head, and that's okay. 6 times 1 is 6. I subtract, I regroup, and 4 becomes my numerator, 6 becomes my denominator. Now, I need to reduce this fraction, don't I? And I can divide both of these by 2, which seems to be the common number I'm dividing these by today. 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I have 1 2/3, and I need to add it to my other 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. My answer should be 3 2/3. 3 2/3. All right. We will do a couple more of these problems. I'm going to do K. I'm going to have to find a way to make the eraser work on this. K is a multiplication problem. I am multiplying my fractions. So I just go ahead and multiply. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6. I take, this is an improper fraction, so I need to put my 15 and divide it by 6. 6 goes into 15 2 times. Then 2 times 6 is 12. I subtract, I get a 3. 3 becomes my numerator, 6 becomes my denominator. So 2 3/6. I know that 3 is half of 6, so my fraction for J is 2 1/2. All right, The last problem, I can do this one in two different ways. I can do it as an addition problem or a multiplication problem. So listen as I read the problem. Each side of this square is 5/8 inch long. What is the perimeter of the square? Show your work. 3 famous words. All right, one way I can do this problem is I can add 5/8 plus 5/8 plus 5/8. All right, because I need the perimeter is the outside going around the outside. So 5/8, 5/8, 5/8, 5/8. All right, now 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 5 is 20. So I have 20/8. I need to make that into a mixed number. So I divide 20 by 8. 8 goes into 20. I'm going to make that look. 2 times, I have 16. I subtract 4. I subtract and I get 4. 4 is my numerator. 8 is my denominator. I look at that and I know that both of these can be divided by 4, correct? Divide them by 4. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 8 twice. So I have 2 1/2. Correct? 2 1/2 is my answer. Now, the second way to do this problem. I'm going to do it over here or up here. I'm going to do 5/8 times 4. I'm going to put the 1 below. That still is the whole number of 4, correct? And I am going to, 5 times 4 is 20. And I'm going to have my denominator of 8. That equals, 8 goes into 20, we already know. 2 times, we have 4 left over, and 8 is our denominator. So then I'm going to, of course, divide both these by 4. I'm going to have 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And I still get 2 1/2 inches. Don't forget your labels. 2 1/2 inches. All right. Hopefully we will see you later today. And have a great day. Oh, I'm going to put in a mystery word to make sure that you have watched this video. The mystery word is pineapple. I thought Jackson would like that one. All right. Bye-bye.